Everyone asks the same question eventually. What happens after we die? Nobody knows for certain. But one man claimed he remembered what happened during the 7 minutes his heart stopped. His name was Daniel. He was 43 years old, healthy, married, and had never believed in ghosts, heaven, or anything supernatural. One evening, Daniel suddenly collapsed in his kitchen. His wife called emergency services. By the time paramedics arrived, his heart had stopped. Doctors worked on him for several minutes. According to the hospital records, Daniel had no detectable heartbeat for approximately 7 minutes. Then suddenly his heart started again. Daniel opened his eyes, but instead of asking where he was, he asked one strange question. The doctor asked what he meant. Daniel looked terrified. He whispered, "I wasn't supposed to come back." For the next several hours, Daniel refused to explain what he had seen. He kept staring at the corner of the hospital room, like someone was standing there. Eventually, his wife asked him what happened during those 7 minutes. Daniel finally answered, "I woke up somewhere that wasn't this world. There was no hospital, no pain, no sound, just an endless darkness." And then Daniel noticed a light in the distance. He started walking toward it. But the closer he got, the more he felt like something was watching him. He couldn't see anyone, but he knew someone was there. Then he heard a voice. It didn't come from the darkness. It came from inside his own head. The voice said, "You can stay." Daniel asked, "Where am I?" The voice answered, "Between." Daniel said the darkness suddenly changed. He began seeing places from his own life, his childhood home, his first school, his wedding. But these weren't normal memories. He could see moments he had completely forgotten. Small moments that he thought meant nothing. Then Daniel saw something that terrified him. He saw his wife sitting alone in their house. She was crying. He tried to reach her, but she couldn't see him. He screamed her name. She never reacted. Then the voice returned. "If you go back, you will remember this." Daniel asked, "What happens if I stay?" The voice didn't answer. Instead, Daniel saw something behind the light. Thousands of silhouettes, standing silently. They weren't attacking him. They weren't calling him. They were simply waiting. And somehow Daniel understood what they were waiting for. Daniel said he suddenly felt himself being pulled backward. The light disappeared. The darkness vanished. And then he heard a heartbeat. He opened his eyes. He was back in the hospital. His wife was holding his hand. And the first thing he said was, "I know what happens when we die." His wife asked him what he meant. Daniel shook his head. "I can't explain it." Then Daniel looked toward the corner of the room again. This time he smiled. His wife asked what he was looking at. He whispered, "Someone came back with me." His wife turned around. There was nobody there. But Daniel wasn't looking at the corner anymore. He was looking directly at the hospital window. Outside, on the other side of the glass, stood a silhouette. Daniel recognized it. It was one of the figures from the darkness. and it was pointing at him, not threatening him, inviting him. Daniel survived. He lived for another 23 years. But according to his wife, every night before sleeping, he looked toward the corner of their bedroom, as if someone was still waiting. So what really happens after death? Maybe nobody knows. But if Daniel's story is true, maybe death isn't the end.